Hey guys, so right now I'm preparing to see Captain Marvel. So this is going to be a review, kind of like a vlog, very similar to that, and I never tried this before. Today I saw so many reviews that were so conflicting, it was totally nuts. So I just can't wait to see what I really think about it, because as you know, I always have my own thoughts on everything. And when it comes to superhero movies, I want specific things, to be executed very well so I can, love them. And Marvel, for me at least, have been a bit hit or miss in terms of emotional department, how they get me to actually, feel for the characters, especially lately. I talked about that a lot of times. So guys, going to see Captain Marvel, gonna update you later on. So before I see Captain Marvel, guys, I decided to work out a bit. Here's how I make good on my time while I'm waiting to go and meet my friend for Captain Marvel. Hey guys, I'm here at the cinema preparing to see the movie. I can't wait. As you can see, the poster is here waiting for me. It looks very glamorous. All the people are staring at me because in Bulgaria that's not very common. So yeah, that's very funny. I have to get used to it if I'm gonna do such things, Anyways, I'm going now and we'll see how it is, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. I just can't wait to see my own face when I see the movie and be like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel is great or not so great movie, we'll see. So here it is, guys, Shazam! He's also here waiting for me, and some of the earlier reviews came out and it turns out that the movie is awesome. So at least according to those earlier reviews. Well, I'm not like, doubting this, since all the trailers look very well. Like, imagine if, Shazam is better than Captain Marvel. Ain't that gonna be a surprise for all the Marvel fans, although I'm both Marvel and DC, so it's not like I want both movies to fail or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, what turn of events this could be. So yeah, pretty interesting, guys. So hi guys, I'm back at home doing this review as soon as humanly possible. I'm in my usual setup, as you can see, and I haven't done this quite a while, video edited and everything, because as you know, it takes too much time and I will never be able to produce the content that I am producing in the past year if I'm not doing streams all the time. So in this format, it's very awesome because more professional, it's edited and everything, but it's just not doable with the schedule and full-time job that I have, also the bodybuilding lifestyle. Anyway guys, so Captain Marvel, finally seen it. It was very interesting also for me to see my own face now and before seeing the movie. So what do you think about this, guys? I'm sure that you all want to know. Again, there's so many conflicting thoughts on the internet. Of course there are, because of the nature of this movie, the controversy before it, but I'm just going to talk mostly about the movie itself. So I first have to start with, is this a very good Marvel movie? Is this like in the middle somewhere, or is it a bad Marvel movie? I would say that this is actually, for me, one of the best Marvel movies. And you're like, what the heck, like how is one of the best Marvel movies? Well guys, I'm gonna explain, starting with the story, how it was made. Although this movie, it is an origin story, and that means that it's not gonna be as grander scope as something like Thor, and Thor the second movie mostly, or the third one, or Avengers. It's not gonna be like that in terms of how big it is, the special effects, the scenes and everything is going to be a much smaller scale, which it was. But although that was the case, going back to the 90s and seeing this unfold and what actually happened and building the Captain Marvel character was very, very interesting, and actually it kind of fixed the problems that I always see in every Marvel movie, since you can say maybe the first Avengers movie. After that somehow. And the problems for me were that I never really connect to the characters that much. Everything to me seems a bit artificial in terms of how emotion is built, how characters interact and talk. I know that for the majority of the audience that is not the case, and it's only you know, a few people, but it's really not, I mean, I'm not the only one that notices this, that a lot of the character interaction, you know, how they talk and everything else seems to be made like it has to be genuine, but I just don't feel it. It just don't makes that punch from the inside. It does not connect in a really genuine way, and I just don't buy it. But here in Captain Marvel, everything that happened actually, I do buy a lot. Her interaction with everybody, her friend, I'm not gonna spoil anything in that part of the review, so everything made sense and made connection within me, and I was able to understand her, I mean Captain Marvel, her story, where she was coming from. Now, in terms of what I said when I reviewed all those trailers, is she like stiff? Is she like introverted? She's very different personality, really, guys. So yeah, she kinda is a lot like a robot sometimes, but that is not because she is like emotionless. It's like on the contrary, she is very emotional, and that's why she is very, you can say, picky in terms of when and how she's going to show emotion, because certain things are really important to her. That is why she can allow herself to, you know, show emotion, and that's really coming from the inside. It's not something that it's up to her. It's because of what she remembers and what she does not remember. In that way, Captain Marvel is actually a lot deeper and very, very different character than what we have been used to so far in the female characters department, and actually in any character, because in a sea of superheroes, you know, we have so many now. And even if you look at DC, you know, when you create a character or just present a character on screen, she's already been created in the comic books, obviously, but when you have so many existing superheroes in DC and Marvel, you have to have in consideration everybody, not only your own universe. If I was a creator at Marvel, I would totally take everybody in consideration in terms of how a character is written on screen. So in that regard, her character traits are very taken into, you know, consideration, because she's so different from everything that we've seen. In the same time, she will fit so well into the Avengers because she is so different. So a lot of thought has been put into Captain Marvel that I don't think everybody's gonna see at all. Some people will say that she's very wooden, but actually she is not. She's kind of a person that is very hard-minded. I'm not sure that's the right word for that, but she is very driven, very strong, very explosive. She acts before she thinks sometimes. I mean, she really does things that she does not really think about consequences right away. She really wants to do good and to punish whoever is supposed to be punished. So she's really has this strong sense of justice, what's fair and what's not fair. And guys, this movie kind of, you know, took me by storm. I mean, in that way, because I didn't expect Captain Marvel to be that deep. On the surface, she's really totally the opposite. What she looks like is somebody that is so like meh, but really she is not. There's so much to her that is totally different, and I always wanted to see a female character that is different from everything that I'm used to as well, because how can you even make a superhero, not only female but in general, so different from what we already see? There's so many superheroes, it's crazy. How can they be different from the others? And I heard some reviewers compare her to Tony Stark, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, she's nothing like Tony Stark, she's nothing like Wonder Woman, and of course the direct comparison is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is like a totally different person. Her whole personality is very on the surface from the very beginning, and with Captain Marvel, her abilities and her real self is kind of repressed. She discovers that as she goes, but she really has a heart. She really does. She just don't waste her emotion or reactions in terms of facial expressions for just anyone or anything. You can say that she's showing her reactions when it's needed to be done, but nothing more, nothing less. So she's very measured in that way. So I'm very happy and surprised by how her character is written, because again, so original. She's so original, and I really appreciate that. In terms of pacing of the movie now, enough of Captain Marvel and Brie Larson's performance, but in terms of pacing, this was very well paced. I thought there was some moments that are really slow, but they were interesting. They were character building. They were very touching. So they had the meaning to them. They were not cheesy. They did not come as artificial or ingenuine, and they did not come as empty as I felt again before with other Marvel movies. So there was some interesting Easter eggs, there were some interesting stuff that we found out from the past, how they came about now in present days, which again I'm not gonna spoil. And at the end was really awesome. So action wise, when we had action, it was great, fighting scenes were great. Some of the times you cannot see everything as perfectly as you wish, just because the camera moved the ways that your eye cannot comprehend what exactly is happening and which body part is moving where to what. But that's very rare in just the particular moments. There was a big twist that I didn't expect. Like I said, I really loved the ending, and you really should stay after the first initial comic book credits to see this super awesome after credit scene. I mean, at least super awesome for me. I really loved it, unlike most of Marvel and credit scenes where they were so useless or they were not that important, but that is really important. I think it's really interesting. And the very end credit scene, it's was one of the most ridiculous things, and it was absolute miracle, or I don't know what that is, but as we were waiting to see that end credit scene, I described exactly what it was supposed to be. I guessed the exact thing that is gonna happen, like literally the exact thing that they're gonna show and what's gonna happen with that. I guessed it. I could not believe that I guessed it, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I don't know how I guessed that, guys, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in the spoiler section of the review. So guys, special effects for what they were, there was not like a ton of great scenes with special effects. Like I said, this is a smaller budget. I like them, I like the story, I got it, I got Captain Marvel, how she does what she does, how she has a knack for everything, but not in a Mary Sue way, how some people would like, you know, to make up everything to be. She had base for that. She has base for her sense of doing things in terms of powers. She's been a soldier for a long time, and she went through so many things. So whatever this movie showed in terms of power and how she learned to use them, I really accept that as what it is, because I get her character. And I think that the level of understanding that you will have for this movie and the level of understanding that you will have for Captain Marvel is gonna depend very heavily on how much you understand her and her character, because really, I'm telling you guys, she's very original in a lot of ways. So yeah, now I heard other people too say that a lot of Marvel movies are kind of empty for them. Again, it's not just me, you know, they just pretend to have a lot of emotion, they show a lot of emotion, but again, that kind of falls flat for me. Somehow it's very hard to explain. I've been explaining this for a few movies now time. So when I even watched Avengers Infinity War, I didn't care pretty much anything that was happening, because it was done in a way that I was like, okay, I mean, I know what's gonna happen after, and this character is not dead. I mean, I was kind of upset for several characters, but that was that. So I would say, guys, that Captain Marvel is a very solid 8.5 out of 10 for a Marvel movie and superhero movie. I will remember it always. It's a very memorable movie, and yeah, I would actually love to see it again. It has this rewatchability aspect of it that the other movies for me, or most of half of what Marvel produced lately, just doesn't have, and I just don't care to see their movies twice. But this movie, yes, definitely. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I think that I'm gonna make a spoiler review separate, and that's going to be with a hangout with a few of my buddies, and we haven't been doing that for like 2 years, so maybe the spoiler section is going to be this long hangout that I'm planning to do them like if not Sunday, Monday, whatever is possible, so keep a watch out for that. Thank you guys, until next time with me, Gary G Reviews. Bye bye my Gary T's. Thank you for all the support as always, and let me know what you think in the comments if you've seen Captain Marvel.